Hello, and you're welcome back to the continuation of our lesson, layout design and visual hierarchy in the media. And in this particular lesson, we're still focusing on the aspect of it that touch on hierarchy, clear communication. So I'll be taking you through the many aspects of things, and I'll just show you what that means in design, whether in book layout or in any lesson. But in this case, I'll be showing you with what you're familiar with, what you are already seeing in your daily routine. You read books, and I'll be showing instances of some of the works that students have submitted. So, what we have covered previously and what we'll build on today, I would say we'll still cover today is the fact that what layout and design is. We've done that in the previous parts. We've looked at the principles of visual hierarchy, and I'm going to be showing that clearly what that is. Layout and design is a clear presentation of ideas in a structured way. You understand what I mean? So we're looking at the element of effective page design, which includes um, some of the key components that I'll be sharing with you today. Now, we look at layout across multiple media platforms, which will talk, and then practical application of SIM. Our objective remains that we're trying to explain layout design principles, apply visual hierarchy, identify poor layout. We're trying to create a clear, a structured page design. And we'll be looking at the very first page of a book, giving it an instance of a media. These same principles applies to graphic designs, to newspaper designs, and more. Then we'll probably look at a newspaper too, and sort of give you some clarity before. To start off with, let's talk about white spaces. What are white spaces? What are white spaces? White spaces are not empty. It is functional. It helps improve clarity. It prevents overcrowding. It enhances focus. White spaces makes communication clear. It allows your content to breathe, and it improves comprehension. Just a quick one. I'll show you a couple of things now. If you look at this, these are first pages of a chapter. If you look at all of these from these, which one uses white space the most? I can tell this. Let's have a look. You see, this is a book chapter. Like the beginning, all of these empty spaces, they are not empty. They are just trying to get a person to focus on what is in the center. Let's see what we have here as the justification. If this person give a clear, say what? The clean and minimal layout reflect the idea of social media perfection. You're reinforcing the message that that's that what is being presented is corrected and not fully real. Oh, okay. This is the justification of this writer. Let's have a look at another. This looks really good. Now let's see the justification of this. All of these are spaces in space between chapter one and this. These are spaces. Now, take a look at this. The layout. I aligned all the text in this page at the center, but the body of the text center. The page number is aligned to the body. Page hierarchy. The first and most important thing I want to see on this page is the. Now, this is the principle of hierarchy we spoke about in the previous lecture. Monday morning. Then chapter one is the second biggest on the page. Finally, the body text is written in the smallest font, guiding the reading from the chapter title to the body. Typography uses serif font, and this type of font is the best one that fits the text and also for reading. Yeah, I want to read that. Design principle emphasize things like chapter title, the chapter of the book, and made use of center line text and all. You see, this person didn't even mention white space, but they've used white space in there. Let's see if anybody. This is another one similar to the first one. Let's see the justification for this. It's a word hierarchy, visual hierarchy, and then size, position, spacing, larger text. Um, yeah, harmony, yes, professional identity. But interestingly, they all use white space, but they haven't mentioned it. Okay, I would have a look at some that I'm yet to approve. Let's see the ones I'm yet to approve. Mm, let's see the one I'm yet to approve. Layout, center space. Okay, now look at this. The title is centered. White was well. White. The body text is left aligned for better readability. Spacing and white space were used to keep the layout balanced and not crowded. Okay, let's give some feedback. Okay, there's a lot of white space. Yeah, left aligned. It looks very simple, minimalistic. Not so much of graphics. Not so much of graphical representation. I believe it can be better, particularly the font size of this. So, but that's like what white spacing is. So again, I mentioned to you that it improves clarity. It improves. It reduces overcrowding, meaning make things better so that it is legible. It's legible. It prevents overcrowding, and then it helps us to achieve what we need to achieve. Now I'm going to try to pull something together as per newspaper. Mm, okay. Before I get on to that, let's just move on with our lesson first, and then we'll come back to that. Can you attempt this? What is the function of a white space from the knowledge gathered so far? What is the function of a white space? Is it to waste space, to improve clarity, to hide content, to reduce cost? Which of this? Give it a shot. Give it a shot. I'm waiting. Are you sure of the answers you're putting in? Think about it. What is the justification for your answer? And are you sure? Are you completely and totally sure that you know what you're sharing with me? Okay. The answer to the question is to improve clarity. All right. Now, we've talked about white space, which I truly want to give you more ideas on. I'd see as that come by. Okay. The same principles apply. Don't forget the newspaper and the place to magazine. Um, it applies to any graphical content, especially in adverts. And I think it will do us much good to consider an advert. And let's see if I can get one out for us to consider. I'm trying to download one of the recent newspapers. We can use that and consider that. So as soon as that comes up, I'll go on with you guys. Now, the next thing I want you to know is alignment and balance. Alignment and balance, it creates order, it improves structure, it's give us some sort of organization. Alignment creates discipline. Poor alignment creates confusion. A well aligned page feels organized, it feels trustworthy. Once again, I'll come back to some of the approved designs that we have, and I'll show you examples of bad, not well organized or aligned, content. So you, irrespective of the fact that it appears like it is aligned, look at this. This is not in any way aligned. Chapter one, you see the title being aligned there. You see this one being to the center. It's not even to this main center, and it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look appealing. Let's have a look at it. We can look at this now. It's chopped off. It's not tidied. The chapter one is not aligned with the lady of the night. You can tell that the chapter one is a bit tilted to the right, and this is a bit tilted to the left. Although it's feeling like it's centered, it's not centered. All right. Okay, and then we have this. This is aligned center. We can tell. We can tell. And then we have another one here that doesn't feel like it's center of the book, of the first page of the book. Yeah, having a look at this again. Look, this is aligned. It's somewhat centered, but it's not centered to the layout. It has to also be centered to the layout. It is centered as per the content, the object, but it's not centered to the layout. Have a look at these. I don't know if I would want to continue reading this, except if it is an order of events program. So these are examples of this. Alignment is like justification. Let's have a good example of what alignment is. And don't forget, I had mentioned that alignment is the justification, the order of things, organization of things. Let's have a quick look at this. Let's consider this. This is a well aligned design. The university experience, you see, all of these are all aligned to the left. And then the image here. This is good. Let's have a look at what the justification is. This is really, really appealing to the eyes. It's good. So let's move on and consider this is another very well aligned text. The drop caps needs to be dropped. This is up caps. I don't know. Should we say it is up caps? Yeah, it looks like off caps is good. I by love chapter one, beginning of an end. As she emerged from the companies or this kind of one have to be very, very careful when you align it. So there's a justified alignment and there's unjustified. This is an unjustified alignment, meaning it's not a block. You understand what I mean? So and yeah, okay, just leave this. This is a well aligned one, and this is a block text. You'll notice this is like a block. Why the one we considered previously is not a block because it has a scattered edge at this, which is totally fine. For some readers, this is very good for them. This is another block, one with a very good drop caps. See that? Covering the entire paragraph. So these are all about alignment. These are all about alignment. Right. Okay. Let's move on. Now, what does poor alignment cause? Let's see if we can answer that. What does it cause? What is the result of poor alignment? When the text is poorly aligned, what happens? Yes, it causes visual confusion. It causes visual confusion. It doesn't allow you to read better. Of course, um, It affects hierarchy. It doesn't give it clear hierarchy. It reduces your attention because you're distracted. So in a nutshell, it causes visual confusion. So there are different kind of layouts, and we have the newspaper, which is sort of structured, and I'll pull up page for you to look at now. So let's pull up a page for you to look at. Mm. All right. So these are examples of Canva layouts of what newspaper look like. This is a template. This is non-conventional. So if any of you pick any of this and use for the interior, it might not work easily. The one that looks likely close to newsletter in Nigeria is this. And this looks like more like a cover page. All right, let's take a look at one of these. With this, you click on it, you can edit, you can write stories about yourself, you can do anything. And this is a very good one when you're designing for social media. The one I just clicked now. Yes, this is a very good one for social media. If you're designing for social media, for instance, Instagram, that is a very good way of sharing a line. This is yet another one. Another one. I'll be giving you some works where you'll be the works you did or this new story you select, you present it in a visual way, you share those. So this is a good instance, this is another good instance. And yeah, this is what newspaper sort of feels like. But now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna design a fresh newspaper from paint. So ideally the layout for a newspaper design is it is on a spreadsheet, which is A2. A2, so I'll come to custom size and I can decide whatever the size is. I can even decide to go um on a whiteboard. Whiteboard allow me to draw it up anywhere I like. So, but let me explain this in a simpler sense to you. So I'll come to create and I'll come to uh, write custom size. Okay, let's come to A4. Majority of you are familiar with A4. But what's happening to this? I was wondering. Okay, it's good. It's working now. So this is the standard A4 size. Now, A4, let's talk about paper sizes. And I would just draw something up. First, this way. Let me just draw a square up. Now, I'll remove the edge. This is how to remove the curve edge. If you want to make it curve, you see that. I'll take it off. What I need now is this. This is A4 size. The black is A4 size. Now, A4 is a full standard size by ISO. I'll duplicate this by using Ctrl D. Ctrl D is duplicates. And then when I bring this to half of A4, this is precisely not half. Okay, it's almost half that. This is half of A4. I'll make this a gray color. This gray color. So half of A4 is A5. Do you understand? Now, if I duplicate this again, half of A5 is A6. Does that make sense to you? Now, half of A4 is A5. Half of A5 is A6. Half of A6, which doesn't exist, should ideally give you just like the convention, to give you A7 if there's anything like that, but there is none like that. So we'll just change these colors so as to code them differently. Code it differently as to show the varieties. See that? Now this is A4, A5, A6 like this, and this is A7. Okay. Now, what will be A3? I'll copy this entire thing, and I'm trying to create A3. Let's come here. What is the dimension of this? What is the dimension of A4? No. Dimension of A4. The dimension of A4 will be twice times 2 to give us A. Guess what? A3. Now I'm going to open this up so you have a clear idea of what I'm talking about. Open image in a new tab. Oh, that's not big enough. I'll come to images. This is another thing you should learn as a graphic person. So you come to tools for you to make it to get the eye size. You say large size. It will only show you images that have high resolution. I will say bond paper. Bond paper is a kind of paper. You understand that? So it's a standard paper that you find in Nigeria. So now I'm trying to show you paper sizes. Open in a new tab. Then this is what we have now. It's still not clear. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. I'll take a step backward. Okay, let's have a look at this. Open in a new tab. Good. This looks like what I'm talking about. Now, you may not find A6. I mentioned in the other time A5, A6. Yeah, half of it said, well, it's going down to A7, which I say does not exist. We have A9. Now, A9, A6, blah, blah, blah. But then this, our main focus here is A1, A2, A3. This doesn't look entirely right. So this is what we do. We're not using this. It doesn't look good. Let's use ISO. This is for ISO. And yeah, let's open this in the new tab. I'll come back here. Good. Lovely. All right. This is what I'm expecting. Now, this is what I've just explained. A4. See this? A4. And then we have half of it, A5. Half of A5, A6. And then we have A7, A8, A9, A10. You see that? So these are the sizes. Now, twice of A4 is A3. Twice of A3 is A2. And twice of A2 is A1. And we have the full sheet, which is A0, which is the largest sheet you can have. Okay. Now, come here. A newspaper, when newspaper is opened, it is A2. When it is closed, it is A3. If you pick an A3 size paper and put it on the newspaper when it is closed, it is particularly near their size depending on the trim cut. Now, if you have a newspaper and you fold it for you to be able to easily carry it along, it will become A4. That's why majority feels okay carrying along a folded paper, like you just fold it into two. I will get a paper and show you that quickly. Um, do that quickly. Okay, I am back and I'll show you what it feels like. This is the old newspaper. When it is folded, it will be near the size of A4 newspaper. A4 newspaper is near to the size of a, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this is a typical A4 newspaper. You see, that is near the size. You see that? See that? You see that? So when it is opened into full-fledged, it becomes what? A3. It is A3. When you then open up the newspaper, it becomes what? It becomes what? A2. Good. Lovely. So now this size is usually not, is not the, historically is not the standard size of newspaper. Is historically is not the standard size of newspaper. What happened is that because of convenience, they have to, change things over the time. They have to change things over the time. Yeah. All right. So now, the standard newspaper size by history is called broadsheets, and that is A1. What did I call it? A1. Yes, A1. Look at A again and think about it. A1. Okay. All right. We're done here. Yeah, explaining that. I said I was gonna design something for you afresh. And we did explain all of this, which I shared. And the dimension of A3 is like the normal newspaper, which is, we measure it all the way down. That will be what? 594 mm. Let's come here and put 594 mm by 420. I would say I want to create a new dimension, custom size. 594 will be my height, 594. I'm changing my units to mm. I'll type that in again, 594. And then my height is 594 mm. My width is 420, 420, 420. You see that I will have twice the size of what I had before. So I'm gonna make this so that you can see it. You see that it looks almost the same on thumbnail, but it's not. Look at that. You see that. So let's copy the entire design here and put it on this page too, which I've just created. You see what is happening here. This is what? What is this? Don't forget, this was what we did, A2. A3 is twice the size. Now you can tell from this particular design now that this is A2. So now twice the size of what we have at the top here will become what? I'll just make that double. What will this be? I'll make that color, maybe, yeah, this color, and then position to send to the back. Let's use this. This is A3 and this is A2. So when a newspaper is closed, it is this size. When it is open, it becomes like this. So now, let's say I want to design it in a normal newspaper size. Remember our dimension that we did earlier. Come down here. I'll just delete this blank one. Say add new page. And then I'll decide the size myself. Now I want it, otherwise I want the width to be the height so that it will be like open newspaper. So that will be, if you come onto the sizing again, that will be 594 420. So 594. Oh, I'm gonna change this. Don't forget your this thing matters a lot. Your unit of measurement really matters a lot, and that's 594 to 420. 594 420. And then we'll create it. Now you see that we're on landscape already. I just want to close this. I don't need that. Neither do I need this. So I'll copy everything on here, which is our A4, A5, A6, A3, A2, and then A3, A2, A1. Okay. Now I'll put it on here. Now I told you this is what very. I turn this around. This is on broadsheets. Remember, this is A3. This is broadsheets. Let me call this broad sheets. Now I want to create the one that is not broadsheet, which is the standard tabloid newspaper. You understand? Tabloid newspaper. Tabloid is it can be defined by size, can be defined by the idea of content. Okay. So now let's create a new page, and we'll be going to the half size of this because what we want to achieve is the size of the Nigerian newspaper. So coming back to the dimension again, you're looking at A3. We're looking at this length. You understand what I mean? This length, which is 841 when it is open, 841 width, and the height. And the height. Okay, now let's be careful here. This is A3. This is A4. And then double of it is what? A3. And when it is open, it becomes A2. When it is closed, it is A3. Don't forget that. When it is open, A2. When it is closed, becomes A3. So we need A2 size. We need what? A2 size. A2 size. And when it is closed, becomes A3. So the front page will be this. It will be 420 by 297, 420, 297. So let's create the front page first. That will be 297, which is portraits. Remember, we're dealing with clothes now. 420. Okay, again, don't forget this to change it. So the width is 297 and the height is what? 420. Boom. So now take a look at what will happen now. Remember, I told you when it is closed, the Nigerian newspaper looks like when I copy this now, I bring it here, I paste it here. Does it fit in? Perfect. Remember, I said it is A3. So let me label at this point A3. I'll make this color lighter color. Oh no. That's not particularly correct. I said this is broadsheet. Broadsheet is what? This is A4, A5. Sorry, A4, A5, A6, and A7. So what that means is that this is A2. This is A3. Now we're confusing ourselves here. No, we shouldn't confuse ourselves. Let's be sure of the dimension of what we've created. This is A2. Yeah, exactly. So let's not confuse ourselves. I think because I didn't put the measurement there, it's a bit confusing. So we started off here. Start from the smallest. This is A4. You need to be very careful. This is A5. I say this again. A6. So twice as this will be what? Hmm? What would this be? What would this be? 3. That is 8 today. Okay. Now we are where we are now. We are making sense. When a newspaper is closed, it will be what? A3. What is the dimension of A3? Dimension of A3. It says it is 297,420 in inches, and that is it. So let's create an A3. So you can just easily go to your template and say A3, A3 document. And what we want to do on this page is to create front page newspaper. I'll just pick this as a rough heading template for just for to use as dummy anyway. Yeah. So it's showing me this as a document. I don't need it as a document. So I'm just gonna create. I don't need it as a document. Cover page. Let's pick this. So I just need the size. Okay. You see that now? The moment I paste it, it's respecting the size already. You understand that? So now this could be the front page of a newspaper. I'll use placeholders. So I'm gonna change this to look like more like the Nigerian kind of news front page that they do. Um yes. Yeah. Media lab news. Now this is big. I have to reduce it. Weekly newsletter. And then I'll reduce this to fonts. So I can change my fonts to become whatever I decide it to be. Yeah, that doesn't look good. I think I prefer the bold fonts. Now the headline could be big. This sometime. And then outstanding students speaks at a uni event where dons or where dons. Okay, at the uni event, let's see. In this can work like this, and then I can begin to design the way I want it to go. So make this bigger so you can see clearly. Now newspapers are planned in column, and the space in between each columns is called gutter. Gutter, yes, GUTTR. So you can make this a drop cap. I don't think you can do that effectively on Canva, except you did it the way I taught you to do it with. So you can make it a 3 column. Just ensure that your spacing is right. How do you do that? Come to position. Then you do alignments. You can say tidy up. Once you tidy up, it's tidied up. So that is one side of things. So yeah, you see the realignment, the adjustment is still a bit out. And once that is a bit out, it means others will be affected. So I have to ensure that I adjust everything. If you see this gray line here, that you see these faint broken lines, those are signs that shows alignment. The same thing you do here. Right. Now I'll duplicate this. I want to change it into a four column. A four column. So I'll say duplicate. And then I have twice of that design. I'll zoom into it. And then I'll come on here. I want to make it four column now. So I'll duplicate this one. So the moment it gives us the same size of gutter, you can see my gutter size now is 0.8, which is good. So I'll bring this together and, ensure it aligns well. Now, there is what they call documents trim size. Right now, you see that there is less space here and there is more space here, meaning that when it is opened, this is the edge here. It opens and becomes top of there. But I just want to align it center to avoid any issue. So at the moment, see this, there is more space on this side than it is on this side. So let's bring it back down. I want to bring this to the center. I can highlight this. You see that there's something showing up there. First, let me bring this all in. So it is within my total control. Okay, now you see something is still outside. That is this one. That's not in. Yeah, good. Okay, now let's pick this. When I make it small, when I'm going big, you see that the box there is showing me the trim area. Exactly. Yes, the trim area. When I move it there, you see that. Good. Now you see what I mean. When you have a design like this, it is safe. Meaning that even if there's going to be any trim, edges cleaning, it won't affect your content because you have more enough margin on all sides. In the center. Now you can bring and decide to bring this down, make it bigger. Oh, sorry. I think I'm unable to do that. I need to add more text. Yeah, I need to add more text for it to be bigger. Okay, there you go. So I'll just duplicate this text so it's give me the same length across. Remember, don't forget the text have to flow from here to here and then continue. So I can decide to justify this. This is not, yeah, you see this justification is not looking very good. So just keep it left for now. So this is 2, 3 columns, 4 columns. That's technically how newspapers, I mean, that's the basic. And when we start talking about types of headline, decal, pickers, sizing, and headline, would look at more of that. So in terms of alignment, you know what alignment, hierarchy. Then looking at this, now the first thing anyone will see is the name of the newspaper and then the headline, which is the most important thing on the front page. So now we want to do the open. That's how you do each of the page. When you want to design the center spread, you have to have both pages on both sides so that you make maximum impact. So the next assignment you'll be doing will be you designing the front page of the newspapers and you tell your story, the most important aspects of your story that you think people should know. So you tell your story. So, but for now, let's continue. So you see layout, we have newspaper layout, as I've just shown you, we have magazine layout, which yeah, let's see if I can show you some magazine layouts. Oh, okay. I'm searching that up, just give me a moment. All right, I'll just show you the way I'm searching. Magazine. So the same way, yeah, this is not so much like Nigerian sort of magazine. this looks more like it. It's close to it. I can customize this, and this is what magazines look like. Yeah. So it's more focused. So do a magazine of yourself. Use an image of yourself. Do that, and the assignment is for you to then um I'll tell you when to start posting and collaborating on Instagram. Yeah, so you're gonna do that, and then you share again on Instagram. Don't forget the handle is at Beyond Lecture. All right, coming back here, and then we have digital scroll base. For example, once again, I'll come back to a design I showed you, um, which is scroll based, and I'll just share. So if this was a breaking news that was shared, I could add an element of scroll. I'll say swipe. I'll look for an element which is swipe right and say swipe right. Yeah, I say swipe right. I can just put this arrow, which is okay. This one will indicate that there is more content to swipe in there. You can use whatever you want to use. You can change the color of this, change it to red. See that? Meaning that they can have multiple screw. That's for carousels and all. Then there are more options for you to pick. I can use this either to give the direction. See that? So depends on what you want and all here. All right, thank you. Okay, let's move on. So now answer this. Oh my god, I already gave you the answer. Sorry about that. So what layout is the most visually flexible? You can tell that from the design, from what I've shown you, magazines look very flexible. It doesn't look serious. It's just very straightforward. Yeah. Let me close all of the things I've opened first and see if I can bring up that magazine again. Okay, good. Now look at this. Magazine is quite very flexible. Magazine is flexible because it's not busy. You can decide to do anything you like. You understand what I mean? So you can even, I can just decide to pick this. Oh, they use the background of the image in this case. So if I wanted to manipulate this and copy the background, paste it all over it, and make the image itself. Okay, I can remove the background. Remove the background. Remember, this is a premium account, so I can remove background. Yeah, you should be able to do that on yours too. So I've removed this background. See that? And I can change the main background. So but I can delete the main background. Just deleted it and make this one bigger depending on what I want. Depending on what I want. But I want to target the body. You don't want to miss the ball. So in fact, you can even use this as imagine. Imagine this is if this was an eye, and I can use the ball as an eye. You understand what I mean? So there should not be no limits to your creativity. And I can as well duplicate it to make even the ball closer. Bring this close. Remember, I've duplicated this, and then I have control over the ball now. See that? So I have control over the ball. So, and it's not me moving with the image. So I can, you see that? I have control over the ball. All of this still on Canva. It doesn't matter if it is premium, you have control over a lot of things. So you see that as bigger, and I can begin to work. Because of course, I want to pick something behind there. It's still selecting this. So I could lock this image so that it's not clicking when I'm selecting. So I can pick this. See that? So yeah. There's something I want to show you here. you see that it is behind. You must have seen some text that when it is now above, it is like showing or like it's showing like an outline. You can select an outline, change it to an outline. Yeah. Mm, mm, so let's come to outline. What does an outline look like? I'll pick just this one. Let's use this one to experiment. Yeah, you see this now. Now I can have this on this. Then it now feels like text is going over our skin to create some graphic effects. I don't know if you get this. Yeah, you see this. So you can do the same with the one behind more. So it sort of it sort of give it some kind of life. You get that? So back here. Mhm. Right. Let's move back to where we were. So I hope you're learning real fast and I hope you're learning real good. So I can you attempt this question now and let's see many of you will still get it wrong. So which layout is most visually flexible? Newspaper, academic journal, report, magazine, which one? Yeah, the answer is definitely magazine. It's flexible. You can see I'm able to adjust things. There's no straight rule to it. So now we have common mistakes that you can have in graphic design. You have things like overcrowding your content. It's can be a very annoying. Inconsistency is another thing. Lack of hierarchy when you know what hierarchy is. So now attempt this. Which is not a layout mistake? Is it overcrowding? Is a mistake? Is it not? Inconsistency front is a mistake? Is it not? Clear hierarchy is a mistake? Is it not? Poor spacing is a mistake? Is it not? Think about that. Think about that. All right. I will let you answer this one open ended. So continue sending in your answer. All right. So moving on. So now I want you to redesign any clustered page that you observe anywhere, maybe in newspaper, maybe anything that you've encountered, book, magazine. Take a picture of it, you put it to one side, and then it will look like this um, poor layout, improve layout. So try to improve it for yourself. Try to improve it for yourself. And I'll give you this. What this question, what improve readability most? Is it aligning more text, reducing spacing, clear structure, changing topic? Attempt this question. Let's see how many of you can insights. Yeah, put in your chat your comment in there and then I'll move on to this. This is your work. Please take notes. Write this out. So what you're doing here is you're improving spacing, you're applying hierarchy, aligning content. And that's your practical exercise. Making two works, okay? And now have a look at this. What is the first step in redesigning a layout? When you want to do it, what are the first steps that you need to take? More comments, more comments. Waiting. Still waiting. Are you to add colors and why? Tell me why. Start thinking of something that you want to do. Right? So your your checkout link will be up in a bit. And then remember you're checking out for the last lesson you add. That's what you're checking out for now. Checking out for the last lesson you add, which is the one you checked in for. Are you ready? Oh, no. Before you're ready, answer my question. You still have question to answer. When you check out, you get your full attendance. And I'll need you to also ask questions, which I'm going to put in a bit if you have questions. Remember, there's always a point for engagement. There's always a point for engaging in class. So do well to do the needful. Mm. I did mention to you guys that we have tools, and I've shown you the tools. I've shown you some tools in the past, and I'm particularly focusing on what is accessible to me, most of you, which is Canva. And it's freely sort of mostly freely available for you guys to access. So, and I hope it is helpful. I hope you've learned. I hope it is making some impact in your life, and looking out for the seeing your work, what you have been able to do, and what you have been able to achieve in it. Okay, I'm gonna come to the end of the lesson in a bit, but I'd like to share one more thing with you. Which tool is used for layout design? Is it calculator, Canva, notepad, browser? Which tool is used for layout design? All right, thank you. You've made efforts to answer that. So now, digital layout. So they are digital layouts or mobile first, meaning that it is designed for adaptability, visibility, and readability in for mobile. So you need to learn how to design first for mobile. When you design first for mobile, it helps readers, have a clear understanding of what you're trying to teach, what you're trying to, communicate, and it's sort of it's designed first. What you're trying to, relate with them, what you're trying to present to them. So it's designed for mobile first, meaning that whatsoever mobile device that opens it, we have a clear connection with it. So when bring out something, just give me a moment. Mm, a okay, just give me a moment, please. Now we have copy of this. There you go. All right. Just getting something. So now when you design for mobile, it should also be scannable. It should be um accessible and ready for use. It should be ready. People should be able to copy it. Should be able to repurpose it in whatever context that they want to. They should be able to access it using a screen reader. They should be able to access it. Um, and it should be accessible anyway. And then you're using short paragraph. You'll be using I call it now. You'll be using um keywords, words that are understandable. They don't have to consult the dictionary before they can start understanding what you're communicating. So these are some of the things you need to put into consideration when you're designing for digital platform. To attempt this question, why is digital layout different? Why is it different from why is it different from others? All right. This is because it's uses more text, requires scrolling or avoid structure, uses fewer headings. If you say it uses more text, you'll be wrong. If you say it requires scrolling, you will be equally wrong. If you say it requires scrolling, you'll be equally wrong. It requires scrolling, definitely. Digital layout requires scrolling is one of those right answer. It avoids structure, that will be wrong. It uses fewer headings. Partially wrong. So it depends on what answer you are providing. So today we'll be able to learn about layout controls and readability design, how it shape perception, hierarchy, and how it guides things. So now, like I've mentioned, I have this assignment, and you may try it. Design a one-page layout, apply hierarchy and spacing. You've done the one for book, and then you can do the one for graphics for graphics. We're gonna put out the instruction clearly, making the thought tasks to do. It's engaging, it is head turning and more, but it's the best. Nice one for you to check out. Check out, check out, check out. So thank you guys for joining today's lesson. And in our next lesson, we'll be looking at photo editing techniques, visual framing, and ethics. I'll be introducing to some other aspects of layout. So enjoy, and I'll see you. Don't forget to continue to take inspiration from this. But to continue to take inspiration from Canva. So wishing you the best, and bye.